Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Rachel Williams begins now.
Good evening, everyone. The state government has taken further significant steps to avoid a potential outbreak of coronavirus, while the number of Tasmanian cases continues to rise. The annual state budget has been delayed and personal prison visits have been temporarily suspended as ramped up social distancing measures come into effect.
The sweeping coronavirus pandemic leading to a major shake-up within Tasmania's criminal justice system.
We've determined that it's going to be appropriate to temporarily suspend all personal visits across the Tasmanian prison service commencing this weekend.
Set to feature alternative communication such as video calls and increased phone access for prisoners. But some in the legal sector say cancelling visits could have severe impacts.
That will simply exacerbate an already very tense environment where you have enormous problems with overcrowding.
The response often back is that the prisoners can self-isolate in their cells, but with reports of multiple prisoners sleeping on mattresses on the floor, how are they meant to self-isolate? We're going to have a risk of self-harm and we're going to have a risk to the jail.
This will impact and affect prisoners as family visits are important. However, it is important that we ensure that the health, safety and well-being of all Tasmanians is a key consideration.
The move coming from a continued rise in confirmed Tasmanian cases. Public Health today revealing a woman was diagnosed late last night after travelling from the United Kingdom.
We believe there are very few contacts that this lady has made on the time between arriving in Tasmania and getting to her home in southern Tasmania. We don't believe there's any community contacts.
With another Tasmanian diagnosed while travelling on the Ruby Princess cruise ship, docking into Sydney on Thursday. The woman in her 50s currently remaining in New South Wales to recover, while another passenger is being tested for the disease in the state. Public Health says 54 Tasmanians were on board.
If any of those people are ill while in New South Wales, they'll be advised not to travel on to Tasmania until their illness has been assessed locally.
The escalating cases creating uncertainty for Tasmania's economy for the coming months, with the state budget pushed back until October, welcomed by Labor and the Greens.
To ensure that we can provide some support to keep our economy going. When we get to the other side of this, then we will bring down a budget and we'll have a clear line of sight on what the future looks like.
Social distancing measures also on the forefront, with Port Arthur Historic Site and the Huon Valley Midwinterfest the latest tourism casualties. The state government introducing a density of no more than one person per 4 square metres of floor space for indoor venues.
If you don't need to go out, don't. Don't put your health and safety or the health and safety of other people at risk.
Ruby Kamain, 7 Tasmania News.
Flights have been wiped off the board as tough new state border measures come into effect. At least 8 flights were cancelled in Launceston today. Several were also slashed in and out of Hobart. It follows new rules requiring all visitors to the state to self-isolate for 14 days. A Tasmanian charity is desperately calling for public help, facing a critical shortage of emergency food due to coronavirus purchase limits. The Hobart City Mission has seen unprecedented demand for its service in the last week due to job losses and says without help, its supplies could run out as early as Tuesday.
A normally fully stocked pantry, almost empty of essentials. This is the scene facing the Hobart City Mission, who supply more than 3,000 emergency food hampers to those in need each year.
For the last year or so, has seen unprecedented increase in demand for emergency assistance. And what we're seeing in the last even week is that level of need ramping up.
The charity has seen a 50% increase in people reaching out for assistance in the past week after losing their jobs due to coronavirus layoffs. It usually places bulk orders with supermarkets online for items, finding those cancelled due to new restrictions. Trying to find an alternate solution to keep shelves stocked, staff went to supermarkets themselves to stock up on vital goods.
Last week they then stopped us from doing that by having only a 2-item limit.
Having to rely on their stock and public generosity, they're running out, facing a critical shortage of supplies.
We've got probably 2 to 3 days of food left and that's a pretty serious situation.
The Hobart City Mission are urging people to check their pantries and if they have any extra non-perishable items such as rice or pasta, to donate them either to their office in Hobart or to one of their op shops.
The people who do come to us for food, we can see that they are absolutely desperate for food. So if we're not able to give them anything, then they are really in a bad place.
Ebony Ablett, 7 Tasmania News.
Amidst a time of economic uncertainty due to the effects of the virus, local retailers are seeing a decline in sales. Despite this, they're spreading a message of hope, urging people to support struggling small businesses across the state.
Bustling city streets still seeing a steady stream of shoppers, but quieter than they've been for a while. It's a time of uncertainty for many small businesses, doing what they can to survive.
Business here has been twofold. We've got the retail and the manufacturing. Retail has been very quiet, it's just obvious. Then you look down the street, you just don't see any people. If we just relied on retail, we wouldn't be here.
Finding customers are spending less, Tim is using the time to focus on the manufacturing side of his jewellery trade.
So it's extremely quiet, but we're lucky that we're a manufacturing jeweller. I'm looking for it as an opportunity.
It's a similar message echoed at Hobart's cracked and spineless used bookstore, where business owner Richard has been nervous about times to come.
I was pretty downbeat about what was going to happen. I thought there was going to be no one coming in whatsoever. But surprisingly, we've actually had a lot of people in.
Today seeing one of his busiest Saturdays in weeks, which he attributes to people being prepared for the prospect of self-isolation.
A lot of people coming and picking up books so they can hide away in isolation. A lot of people just trying to help out small businesses and trying to help us out, which has been really, really good.
Acknowledging that his business is lucky, Richard says it isn't the same for others, and that things are only going to get worse for local retailers before they get better. He's urging Tasmanians where they can to go out and support small businesses during this trying time.
Well, if you've got money, go and spend it on other things out there and actually support some of those small businesses out there which are going to be suffering really, really badly very soon.
Ebony Ablett, 7 Tasmania News.
Major infrastructure projects and rent relief are among measures being considered by Tasmanian councils amid the COVID-19 crisis. Mayors of Greater Hobart have gathered to form a response as businesses contemplate closing their doors.
Saturdays at the Brookfield Shed normally see 100 customers through the doors. Not today.
So far we've got 2 people in our restaurant and we've had about a dozen people here this morning.
As COVID-19 takes a bite out of Tasmanian business, Greater Hobart councils are looking at ways they can help split the bill.
Up until the 30th of June this year, the 4 councils will be putting through an interim support package, and they'll include things like rates relief.
Rent collected from council assets like sports clubs, now forced to close, could be waived. Kingborough, Clarence, Glenorchy and Hobart still need to formally tick off a plan.
We're proposing that we have a consistent approach right across the Greater Hobart councils, and that be that we are open for applications for people who are suffering hardship.
The councils will also push for the state and federal governments to bring forward $164 million in infrastructure projects. Meanwhile, the Launceston City Council has passed a motion to start developing its own response. Relief for rates, rents and charges, one-off grants and supporting cancelled events are all being considered. The Mayor is hoping business landlords will do their bit.
Yet I'm sure there are some people out there that have got large resources, who have had these properties for a long, long time, and if they in any way could assist with rent relief for the next 2 to 3 months would absolutely be so important. We need to all work together.
Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
The Salamanca Strip in Hobart was quieter than normal for a Saturday morning, with the temporary market closure coming into place from today. The 2-week suspension taken as a precautionary measure in line with social distancing due to coronavirus.
Well, we've made this very tough decision based on the health and safety of everyone. This is a very large market. A lot of people come, about 25,000 during summer.
Meanwhile, organisers of the Evandale market say they're still planning to go ahead with their weekly event tomorrow. Sprayton galloper Mystic Journey has pulled off an impressive return at Moonee Valley. The mare looked set to sit at the back of the pack during last night's Group 1 William Reid Stakes after coming back from a leg injury, but powered forward in the final 200 metres, placing 5th.
Good evening everyone. Launceston the state's top today with 21 degrees, Burnie and Devonport both 19 and 15 in Hobart. Across the state, Flinders Island and Ouse reaching 20 degrees, 19 in Low Head and St Helens, Smithton reaching 18 and 17 in Grove. There was low cloud over parts of Tasmania today with thinner, wispy cloud above. And across Australia, an upper level disturbance has produced a high and mid-level cloud band stretching from the south of Western Australia across the Bight and towards Tasmania. Convective cloud can also be seen across the far north of the continent. Tomorrow's chart shows a weakening front that will cross Tasmania as a strong high moves south of the Bight. Low pressure troughs will linger about the northwest and northeast of the continent. South to southwesterly winds tomorrow 15 to 25 knots, reaching up to 30 knots about the east and southeast. And there is a strong wind warning current for eastern coastal waters from Cape Portland to southeast Cape. Showers in the south tomorrow with Hobart 16 degrees, 17 in Richmond, Ouse reaching 16. A shower or two and 19 in Launceston, Devonport mostly sunny and 19. Early showers and 17 in Deloraine. Burnie, sunny and 19, 16 and showers in Strawn, Curry reaching 17. Showers also on the east of the state with St Helens 19, 17 in Swansea and Whitemark 19 degrees. The UV tomorrow is moderate and high across the state. Looking on to Monday now, fine apart from light showers about the west and far south. Light showers again on Tuesday, otherwise fine. And on Wednesday, showers about the west, south and central parts of the state, easing in the evening. Mostly sunny and 32 in Perth tomorrow, Adelaide 22, possible showers and 18 in Melbourne, sunny in Canberra and Sydney and Brisbane reaching 31. And currently Hobart cloudy and 13 degrees, Launceston 17 and also cloudy, and cloudy in Devonport as well with 16 degrees, and Rach, that's Saturday night's weather.
Lovely, thank you very much for that, Chelsea. Well, that's all your news for now. Thanks for joining us. Have a great evening and I'll see you at 6 tomorrow. But for now, it's good night.